Hello and welcome. There's been another anime tag that I have heard of. I don't look for them, but if I do find them, then jolly good. This one is again a One Piece one, just like the one last year was, and in that one I did envisage myself slightly as if I were in the world, because it was the pirate crew tag, and I was the captain, so I needed to be in the world, obviously. However, this time round, it's not quite like that. This time it's just me. My starter character. And then I'm probably going to go into slightly the journey beyond that. So effectively, start off as, well, me. In the One Piece world, I imagine I would start in one of the four blues as opposed to on the Grand Line, just because my family, which I assume would be the same. And I reckon that I probably would have set off, given there's no proper formal education system or anything in the majority of the islands, around about the same age that, like, Luffy did, maybe? I don't know, let's go with 16. 16, I'd started to do Kung Fu, something that I imagine that I probably would have started earlier were I in the One Piece world and lived near someone to teach me. But in the One Piece world, general fighting in the streets is more accepted, so long as it's not like a naval base area or anything like that. So, let's say that I've been doing it since I was 10. So I would have spent longer at the time of being 16, having done martial arts, than I am now. Which brings me on to my weaponry. Firstly, I myself would be a weapon at this point. I would obviously be nowhere near as strong as, say, Luffy at the start of the series, because he's insanely strong. But I would still be, stronger than your average civilian, probably like on par with, if not slightly stronger than the majority of Alvida's crew, just as a beginning of the series representation, though I would be starting out. Right, how long's One Piece been out? Like 20, 25 years? I'm 20, so if it's been around for 20 years, it would have been 16 years worth of progress. So, yeah, I'll probably be starting out around the end of the time skip, maybe. Let's go with that. And because it's the one we know the most about, let's start in, I believe, the East Blue. So, we'll start there. Say I was on some random island, and my family's there. My mum would cry when I left, and I'd be like, don't worry, it's all good, I'm me. I'd be like, make sure you write and stuff like that. My brother would probably come as well if he hadn't left earlier, but I feel he probably would have left earlier, which means it would be very similar to the Ace Luffy situation later on, maybe. But my weaponry, myself, I would have a staff that I probably would have made myself, due to the fact that I highly doubt there would have been anyone in my family to hand me down one. And then as the series of adventures go on, I would like to upgrade it. So if anyone's read the Spooks books by Joseph Delaney, I highly recommend them, by the way, then I would want to get like a pop-out blade at the end, so then I can have like sort of a polearm to stab, as well as just my usual staff. I would dress in a cloak, so I can sort of hunch over, use the staff, pretend to be an old person. Then, as for any special haki abilities that I may have, personally, I like to think that I would probably develop an affinity for, most likely, to be fair, conquerors, but not in such a big flashy way, because most of the time when Conqueror's Haki is exhibited, it's sort of, you walk through like a room and everyone's just like hits the deck. What I feel like mine would more likely be is just sort of, well, my use of it would be, I'd be there and just sort of chilling, like reading a book or whatever, and someone comes to bother me or whatever, and they'd have to get through the Conqueror's Haki to get to me. And people could probably tell, like, just from the fact that I'm so focused, and I'll with minor observation haki as well, like that'd be my weakest one probably. I'll just be like, I can sense them coming and just be like, poof, and then they'd have to get through the aura, otherwise they can't disturb me from my reading. Then, obviously with worst one that, best one's this, armament would be my middle ground, which I think's fair enough. It's sort of, I'd have enough to make my staff not break, and yeah. I'd also want a mace, simply because they're cool, but I probably wouldn't use it much. Like, I'd probably throw it. I'm not very good at throwing things, it'd be more of a distraction than anything, but if I did hit anyone with it, it's a mace. It's gonna do a lot of damage. On top of these things, there is, of course, in the One Piece world, devil fruits. Now then, I am torn as to whether I would want one now, because foregoing the colour fruit, or whatever I called it in my previous tagged video, I haven't been tagged, by the way, and I'm not going to tag anyone other than everyone who watches it. Unless you've already done one, then don't worry. Yeah. So, it's not something that really I'm sure I want, because I enjoy swimming and long baths and stuff, and not being able to swim and probably drowning would likely take away that. So I've thought of 2 alternative fruits. The first one is the sort of change fruit, or the scale fruit, where you can scale things up and down, including to their complete opposite. This could be incredibly overpowered, depending on how you go about using it. For example, you could scale someone from alive to poorly to ill to dead. You can just be like, nah, oh no, you're dead. Or conscious, unconscious. But I was thinking it would be more like male, female, somewhere in between. Because you could really mess with people, and it would just be useful, I think. Like, you could turn up the buoyancy on stuff. So instead of actually sinking, you could activate your powers when you first get like a set of clothes or something and make them super buoyant. So if you ever do get like thrown in the ocean, you won't sink, you will float. And in fact, you probably won't even have your powers sapped, because your clothes, like the back of your clothes or the front of your clothes, wherever you land, will just be floating and won't sink into the water at all. So unless you like relax and let yourself fall into it, you won't. And you can take a little bit of water as a devil fruit user, so there's that. Then the other one that I thought of, I honestly cannot remember what it is now. Oh dear. Oh yes, the summon fruit. Not to like summon living things and whatnot, but just sort of to, if there's something that you've seen, I suppose, you can just sort of, and it'll be in your hand, or something like that. That would be awesome, and I personally would make a great deal of use of that, both in real life and in One Piece. In One Piece world, mostly for, thievery, and also to rob people of stuff. Like, you'd be like, oh, my enemy has, like, Black Mercy, a gun from the Darksiders universe that kills you immediately if you get shot by it. I'm like, oh, now I do. Oh. Or, and then in this world, it would mostly just be for laziness. Be like, oh, I can't be bothered to grab my milk glass. I have it now. So that would also be awesome. But yes, that's pretty much my starter thing. I would probably be a pirate, as opposed to a marine or revolutionary, but not go too high up into the echelons of piracy. I wouldn't be like Captain Kidd and slaughter loads of innocents for the lols. I wouldn't be like Luffy and be like, I'm gonna be king of the pirates. No, I would want an island. It's something that I want in real life. My own personal island where me and my friends and potentially family can just chill, sort of I have the run of the place. Be great. That's what I'd want when I've either amassed enough money or force to buy/take one. Or if I earn one from the respect of the people there, etc., then I will probably retire. I would continue doing the old martial arts training if I had a devil fruit, using it, practicing it, honing it, awakening it. I'll go into that in a moment. And then just sort of chill. If my pirate crew wanted to keep going, the first mate can become the captain and they can keep going, they'll have a home base to come back to. It would be great. And then probably eventually the Marines would come and there'd be a big siege or something. However, if I had awakened my fruit, the summon fruit would probably mean that I can turn... It'd be kind of like Law's Oppy no Mi, like, does the room and then he can switch things around where they are. It would be like that. So I could just sort of be like, I'll summon this to me and leave that where it was. So there'd be, say, it still wouldn't work like on organic things though. So that'd be too overpowered. Say they have their galleon that they arrive on, or potentially galleons, when they summon the Buster Call or whatever. I'll be like, right, that's not good. So I'll activate the Devil Fruit and have like, I don't know, a pen, and be like, right, drop it off the edge of a cliff on the island, and then at the bottom, falling down the cliff now, is all of the galleons. However, all the organic things that were on the galleons remain where they were and start falling into the ocean. The galleons will, of course, make a massive wave from where they land in the thing, and probably go and make it even harder for everyone who's just fallen in thin air, where the ship used to be, to survive the fall. And then the change fruit would... What would the awakening for that even be? I'm not sure. I suppose probably you can change things. You could like add an extra layer of the scale. So, for example, there is the living, unwell, really unwell, dead, undead. You can make it circle all the way back round to undead. So they're technically alive, but they're not, so you can... And then, well, like, if you deactivate it, they'll just die. Or stuff like that. I'm not sure, really. You can let me know in the comments below, let me know what you think, and if you have done the tag video as well, then please let me know about that, either on my Twitter, or preferably in the comments section of this video, and then I will watch it, and I will probably be like, yo, that's awesome! Regardless, however, I will catch you cats on the flip-flop, because I have other things to do today, and goodbye.